Hello, my name is Andreas Hauser. I am Global Head of the Design and Co-Innovation Center at SAP, and today I'm going to give you an update about SAP's user experience strategy and how we are changing the game of user experience. First, please have a short look at the disclaimer. It started about 10 years ago when Hasso Plattner was doing a speech at Sapphire, SAP's annual customer conference, and he was reading an article about design thinking. And he went on stage and said, this is the next new thing that SAP is really taking care of. What does that mean and why was he saying that? To achieve design innovation, you need to understand the business needs, viability. You need to understand the technology, feasibility, and very important is understanding also the human values, people that are involved. What are their desires? And if you get these three things together, you will be able to achieve design innovation. What is the current situation? Consumer experience is the new standard for enterprise applications. Everybody uses Facebook, Google, Amazon, social networks. People are used to the speed and simplicity of that. And they expect the same ease of use, intuitiveness with business applications or enterprise applications. I make an example. If you book at home using Amazon a book, if you order a book, and next morning you get into your office and you would like to order a laptop, a PC, or whatever, you expect that it works in the same intuitive and easy to use way, which is very often not the case. And this set the standard for the bar for enterprise applications. Have you seen these consumer applications from SAP already? Records Plus, PhotoTribe, Fan Experience, or My Runway. We started some years ago already investigating in these areas and building consumer applications. Why did we do that? To understand how consumers work with software. And you probably also think now about how is this related to enterprise software? It's pretty simple. I would like to make the example of Fan Experience. The customer had a real challenge, a real business problem. People who came to the stadium, or they did not know which people come to the stadium, because people buy tickets and give it to other people. What they did as a first step, they brought the ticket on the mobile device. With that, they know who is coming. The second thing is they wanted to accelerate merchandising. And we interviewed people, observed people in the stadium, and we found out that people don't want to get up their chair, walk to the merchandising shop and buy something because they don't want to miss the game. Therefore, they also brought a shop on the mobile device. And another thing what the customer wanted to achieve, to build a loyalty program between the fans and the team. And PhotoTribe is a very great example where you can share pictures, professional pictures by the team and personal pictures collaboratively. And that's the reason why these consumer applications, which are applications that our customers provide to their customers and users, why SAP really invested in that. And these design principles we transfer into our business software. Interestingly, there was also last year an article in the news about these consumer applications, and the press was writing that the astonishing thing was that these were applications built by SAP. From our point of view, SAP users have some simple rights. Make simple things simple. Don't get in my way. Don't waste my time. Know what I'm doing. Let me personalize. Know my preferences. And I personally think the most important thing is I have other things to do because our users don't sit 8 hours a day in front of the laptop or PC and work with our software. They just want to get their job done in an efficient and effective way. Where are we now? What is the current situation? Most SAP users still use the SAP GUI. And why is it like that? SAP developed roughly in the last years up to now 300,000 screens. If now SAP with more than 60,000 employees would decide that every employee takes 5 screens, beautifully develops them in a very simple, easy to use way, and we deploy it and offer this to customers, how long is it going to take for a customer to deploy the new functionality to an entire large organization? And if you look at big companies that really have hundreds of thousands of employees in many subsidiaries and locations worldwide, the answer that we typically get, it's taking years. It's not days, not months, typically years, 1-2 years to really deploy this new functionality to a large organization. And that's exactly one of the traps that we're in. Although SAP developed in the last year great solutions with great user experience, where we get very good feedback, like solutions in on-demand and cloud, or new things that we developed in the business suite or in mobile, the challenge is that the adoption of end users is not as high as it could be. And the first message that I would like to make today is SAP GUI, which is a 20-year-old UI technology, has a high impact or the highest impact on SAP's user experience perception. Now, if we look at these about 300,000 screens, not all of them are used in the same way. There are some top scenarios that are extremely widely used. These are typically manager or employee self-services. But there is another category of core scenarios. These are typically scenarios that are more professional users, HR administrators or accountants or sales rep and so on. And then there is a long tail of very customer-specific scenarios that are specific to the customer, specific to the industry, and so on. And what our strategy is that these top and core scenarios we are renewing. And I will speak later on about how we are doing that. You probably heard already about the new product called SAP Fiori. That's exactly for top scenarios. And we have a suite renovation program to renovate the most frequently used roles. For the customer-specific scenarios, we enable customers to improve user experience on their own and provide enablement tools. And SAP Screen Personas, it's one of our latest tools and technologies that allows to optimize and simplify user experience of SAP GUI screens. And last but not least, we clearly also continue building new applications like the consumer apps that you saw just before, or what we do in cloud, or in the business suite, or in HANA, or in mobile. We clearly continue that. From a user experience strategy point of view, the change that we did is in the last year, not only focusing on the new stuff and invest from a design point of view into the new applications, we also now invest significantly in renewing and enablement of customers to really provide fast value for our customers and provide possibilities for our customers to improve user experience of their existing installations. What you have to remember, new, renew, enable, that's the user experience strategy. We now added an additional element, the user experience design services, because we got feedback from customers that they asked for help to transfer that strategy into their reality. And I'm going to speak about that later on a little bit more in detail. Now, let's have a look at the category new. Another example of one of the consumer applications that we did is curse cycles, where it helps parents, for example, with their to manage the support and care for disabled or kids that are ill, and use this for collaborating with doctors or people who take care of them. We get very good feedback to this application. Another example is visual business. Combining 3D visualization means showing the reality in software, but combining this with business information coming out of SAP, but also coming out of other sources, which leads to a more intuitive user experience. Other examples coming out of cloud, SAP Cloud for customers, with their very simple to use, touch enabled dashboard showing transactional analytical data, collaboration capabilities, easy to personalize by the user, also showing external content like news, or customer financials fact sheet that was also built to run, for example, on new Windows 8 devices. Now I would like to focus on the renewal part. And the product that SAP shipped and announced at Sapphire this year was called SAP Fiori. This is the way how we renew the most widely used top scenarios. And SAP Fiori, the concept behind that is it is built with HTML5 technology, SAP UI5. It runs on all devices like the desktop, the tablet, and smartphone. And it adapts the visualization to the device specifically and uses responsive design. Responsive design, to give a little bit an understanding what that is, if you look, for example, at the tablet, you see on the left side the list, on the right side the details. This does not fit on a smartphone. What happens? If you start it, you first of all get the list of the entries. As soon as you click on them, you get a second screen where you see the details. But this is done automatically by our UI framework. Another important thing about SAP Fiori is that it runs for our existing ECC 6.0 customers, and the only thing what our customers need is SAP Gateway to access the SAP backend system, and there are 2 add-ons that need to be installed. That means it can be deployed in a very fast way to customers, in customers' existing landscapes. One example that I would like to share, 1 week before Sapphire this year, I did a presentation to one of our customers, Valero, and they were very excited about the Fiori applications. And I just asked, what do you think about let's install one of these applications until Sapphire next week? And Ben from Valero said, yeah, let's do that. And they tried it, and the great thing was that within 2 to 3 days, they were able to download the app or get it running in their own sandbox environment. It was purchase requisition approval. And it showed that it's possible within a very short time frame to get it running. The Fiori design principles are, first of all, it's role-based. We decompose, let's say, the huge SAP transactions into a task-based experience and only show the user the information that is relevant for the task that he's working on. We have a responsive design. That means it runs on all sizes of devices, versions, and channels. It is simple, and we stick to the rule of 1-1-3, one user, one use case, 3 screens. We ensure coherence. The apps speak the same language. That means people expect that the same task can be done in the same way. Approvals are always done in the same way, as an example. And also another design principle is instant value. We want to achieve low barrier to adoption. As I said, existing customer can really leverage this very fast in a non-disruptive way and get a real instant value. 25 SAP Fiori applications were available at Sapphire or are available now. And we did a research at one of our customers that if they would deploy all of these 25 applications within their company, 87% of their users would touch these Fiori applications and work with them, because these are really very highly used applications. You see them here: manager approvals or manager my spend, employee leave requests, timesheet, shopping cart, and things like that. But also for sales reps and purchasing agents, we already ship some applications. We decided also that we are SAP significantly continuing to invest in that. We will ship further applications this year, end of this year, and we are continuing with a significant growth also in the future. Now we spoke about these top scenarios. Let's speak about the core scenarios, more for the professional users. Here we renovate and really harmonize and simplify the UIs of key roles like HR administrators. The user has a single point of entry where he uses the SAP NetWeaver Business Client, which has a browser-like experience with a simple Google-like search to search for transactions or business objects, with their tab-based navigation, and from there he can launch now several other UI technologies or tools to perform his tasks, like Floor Plan Manager. He can launch SAP GUI screens embedded within the business client or SAP UI5, or also external content. That gives the possibility for existing customers, just by using the NetWeaver Business Client, providing access, a role-based access to various SAP tools and technologies, transactions, UIs. An interesting additional enhancement are the side panel that I would like to look at. Part of the NetWeaver Business Client is the capability to extend existing SAP transactions with predefined or custom-specific content, related information. You see on this screen in the middle where display customer data, that's the standard SAP transactions as it is, surrounded by the NetWeaver Business Client, and on the right side we have the side panels. With these side panels you can extend the functionality, and there you can show related information, for example to the business object that you show in the SAP GUI. You can show charts, analytical data, third-party content. You could also have Visual Enterprise integrated to, for example, show for material the 3D visualization, and. There are about 200 of these, we call the elements chips, predefined content available, and more than 1,250 transactions are already enabled with side panels. And as a customer, you can also build your own content and, for example, also access non-SAP data, but show them in the context of the transaction that the user launched. It's a great possibility. All ECC 6.0 customers already have this. It's part of NetWeaver, and you can just use it. Now let's come to enablement. SAP provides various enablement tools to allow customers, enable customers to improve user experience of their existing screens. We have SAP Screen Personas that works for all SAP GUI screens. And here you see an example how now such a screen could look like. We have the Floor Plan Manager, which is based on ABAP WebDym Pro, that allows the customer to build new screens or also adapt our existing Floor Plan Manager screens. And For SAP UI5, we have the UI5 application development tools available that enables customers to build their own Fiori apps, to adapt Fiori apps, or build their own UI5 applications. We have NetWeaver Business Client and Sign Panel that you can use, and we also offer a theme designer, which is a tool that allows to adapt the branding of the user interface to your customer specific branding, to your colors, to your fonts, add your logo, and it also allows you to change the style sheet. This is working, the theme designer, for SAP UI5 and for WebDumpro Opera currently, but it's going to be extended to other UI technologies. Now I would like to make some examples of SAP screen personas. You see a classical SAP Start transaction, the easy access menu. This is how it could look like. You see an SAP transaction, for example, create plant maintenance notification. With subscreen personas, what we did in this case, we brought only the relevant feeds for the user on one simple screen, combined that easy to enter with less clicks and just one click to create a notification. Another example, for sales orders, you could also have a nice real start screen that only shows relevant information for the user. I'm going to show you another example later on, a little bit more in detail. But screen personas is really a great tool that allows you to achieve fast value to improve user experience of SAP GUI screens. The prerequisite is these transactions need to run in the web version of the SAP GUI. To give you an overview about the key UI technologies, we have SAP UI5 and the UI5 application development tools to adapt, change, or develop new applications. We have WebDumpro ABAP and Floor Plan Manager with the Flexible UI Designer, which is the tool for adaptation or newly developing apps. And we have the SAP Dumpro, where we have SAP Screen Personas as the tool to optimize SAP GUI screens. You see with these arrows here also marked the connection to the backend. SAP Dumpro screens, they have a very close relation to the backend system. That means UI logic and business logic is very much interwoven. That means subscreen personas in this case is only a layer on the UI of the Dumpro where you can reduce, for example, fields, merge tabs, combine fields from multiple tabs to one. But you cannot add business functionality. It's only working on the UI level. Now, the next thing, ABAP, WebDumpro, and Floor Plan Manager, they already decouple UI and business logic very, very well, but it's on the same stack in the ABAP layer. SAP UI5 with Gateway, now there's a very clear separation between UI and business logic, and really enables us also to be much, much more flexible in the future. This gateway does not need to run on the same machine as the backend system. And this really, the decoupling, and this is the basic, the fundamental architectural change that is happening now with moving also into SAP UI5 and Gateway. The fundamental architectural change is that we decouple UI and business logic very clearly and are very flexible in reacting to changes in UI technology. This was more difficult in the past. Especially now, if you look in 2 or 3 years, I'm pretty sure there will be a new UI technology that is more innovative and that you would like, as customers, you would like to leverage. It could be HTML6 or however the new UI technology is called. Also, if you see the trend, what is happening, that there will also be more and more machine-to-machine communication. Exactly this separation of UI and business logic allows us in really being prepared for the future and providing timeless software. In addition, what we offer another tool, the Theme Designer, which is running on SAP UI5 and WebDim Pro ABAP. And on top, we currently have, would say, two main clients, which is the SAP NetWeaver Business Client and the SAP NetWeaver Portal Client to access the various tools. Now I spoke about new, renew, enable, and the overall UI architecture. Let's now come to the UX design services. And why is user experience important? Because great user experience has an impact on business value. User experience is not just about colors or fonts or letting things just look nicer. Many people see it like that, but it's not. Great user experience, if you achieve that, people gain productivity. They are able to work faster and more efficient. You increase user adoption because people like to work with it. You decrease user errors. And you save training costs. And if you're able to reduce the end user training, would say from 1 day to half an hour, and you have hundreds of thousands of employees, that's a huge amount of money that you can really save by having a great user experience. We had several escalations at our customers about the user experience of our products. And what we did? We went out and observed how people work with the system. We did more than 70 customer engagements. And we did some very interesting observations. We took designers, people with user research background and design thinking background, went on site to the end users, observed how they work. And we found out that the issues that we identified, some of them could be solved with existing SAP tools. But the IT organizations were not aware about that. We also identified that IT organizations at our customers need to better understand the needs of their end users. Typically, they get requirements from the business units, but don't really access the end users. And interesting was also to see that end users clearly also perceive screens that are built by the customer or partners or custom built screens as SAP screens. In general, the main learning is that IT organizations and our customers recognize that they miss design skills to better understand the needs of the end users. And I would like to make two examples. There was one customer, they bought web order management of SAP. A partner implemented for 3 million euro. And in general, they had 2,000 hairdressers using the software. Potentially. Only 2 were using it. And what we did, we went out, we went to London, visited together with somebody from the IT department, hairdressers, how they work. And the interesting finding was the person from the IT organization was surprised to see that the end users all work with Macintosh laptops. And the person said, we currently use a version of the enterprise portal, an older version, which is not running ideal on these laptops. First finding. The second thing was that users complained that creating a user takes 5 days. That means they requested a user via the system and 5 days later they get an email. The reason for that the customer had within the IT organization a manual process, and if this person didn't react fast enough, then it took some more time. Only thing what I wanted to say is that what end users perceive as usability problem is not always really related to the product itself. It sometimes has reason also in other areas. Another example was another customer. They provided a user interface for shops that order products. Then they also complained, the shops complained about usability, that the navigation is very inconsistent. Buttons sometimes are called next, forward, and it was really unclear for the user how to interact with the system. They also used various technologies like business server pages, ABAP Web Pro, Java, and. And then I asked the CIO how many of the screens these users use are custom built screens by the customer himself, by the organization, and how many of these screens are SAP standard screens. And the answer was 85%. And then I asked the question, do you have guidelines, UI guidelines for your developers to develop coherent, consistent screens? And the answer was they're working on that. Because they identified also that they need to provide more guidance for their developers and that they need to engage more with their end users. This was also one of the key learnings of this customer, that they need to start build up design skills also in their organization. And what kind of skills do you need for doing that? You need to have people who know how to interview people, how to observe people, how to test with users. These are typically skills with psychology skills. You need to have people who design the screens, do low and high fidelity mockups, build prototypes, create design specification, have screen flows, model screen flows, or people that know really how to design visually screens. They know branding, visual languages like color, typography, logo design, and to make it really emotionally also appealing. And finally, also people with design thinking skill to coach, moderate sessions, and to get the people and customers together into workshops and jointly work together. Design is not just about adding skills to an organization and thinking about that then if you just now hire some designers, put them into organization, let them work with developers, will solve the problem. No, design is a process. And you need to look also at the way how you develop applications. You first of all need to understand the problem. You need to observe how people work. Then you define your point of view, you ideate, and iteration. Iteration is really the key message. It's not that now a designer with a business expert work for several months on defining the ideal beautiful design and then they throw it over the wall to the developer. No, it's a joint activity where all required skills work together from the beginning on. That's the important message. Now we identified several needs by our customers. We have the strategy of new, renew, enable, and customers ask us for advice to better understand the strategy and translate it into their business reality. They also ask for services to really realize, to implement and adapt SAP user experience solutions or optimize the user experience of the existing software. If you achieved already some results by implementing some of the improvements, like with subscreen personas or Fiori, or whether you optimize your existing software, the next level for a customer is to start building up skills on their own, to empower customers and enable their organization to achieve the best user experience by learning about design methodologies, about design best practices, and how to build up a user experience center of excellence within a customer organization. And the last level is for a customer to become really innovative. And that's the final goal of our customers. They want to be more innovative than their competition. And by building up these skills, design thinking skills and design skills in the organizations, also where we help with services to help customers to become a leader, to create new high value by designing new products, looking for new services, and for example, SAP HANA, that provides now amazing capabilities for our customers to really think about in a new way now how to do their business. We provide services for customers in doing that. And everything is really powered by design thinking, engaging with end users, working very iteratively. I would like to make some examples because I think examples are really much more visible. This was a custom example where they implemented a financials dashboard using our business object technology. You see it on the left side. And users complained about user experience. What we did, we observed how people work with the tool. We then came up with some wireframes and spoke with the users again whether we understood it correctly and really iteratively tested with the users and came up with the proposal that you see now on the right side. We identified that there are 4 key KPIs that are most relevant for the end users. We enhanced a little bit the functionality, and the good thing about that was that what we provided as a design can be implemented with the existing technology as is. That means the customer could have done it before without us. But he was lacking the design skills and was happy to get help from us in achieving that. Another example is what we did at Shell with SAP Screen Personas. They wanted to try out and experience the benefit and the value of SAP Screen Personas, which helps you to improve user experience of SAP GUI screens. What we did, we again in this case, we observed how people worked with the real end users, came up with some wireframes, and analyzed their needs and reduced the number of clicks by more than 40%. What we did, before, a user was going through 7 screens with about 45 clicks, and with sub-screen personas and knowing the needs of the end users, we were able to reduce it to 3 screens and 26 clicks. And this is real efficiency gain, but not only about that. An example that I wanted to share is there was one user who was typing into one field 0004. And we asked the user, why are you doing that? And the answer was, yeah, because it's in my script. And the user didn't know why. But the problem is now, if the user, for example, enters 003, which sometimes happens, then the business process runs in another way, and the organization, IT organization or the business needs to correct that, which is causing costs. That means now with also just simply having this as a default value and hiding this field, you reduce costs for the company. And a very interesting other experience that we did the final presentation of the results with the IT organization and the users. And the users were very happy to really integrate it into that process. And the feedback that we got from the IT organization is SAP Screen Personas is a great tool. It's a great technology. But we need to engage with the users and understand their needs. You can compare it. The example that I always do is it's like PowerPoint. You can do great presentations with PowerPoint or you can do bad presentations. And the design skills that you need to add really help you to come up with some great solutions. Another example is what we did with KMD is a dashboard for a kindergarten manager. And you probably wonder, why kindergarten manager? In this case, this is a person running the kindergarten, and he ordered with our enterprise buyer tool toilet paper, pencils, and things for the kindergarten. But it took him really some time per week to really do it. And what we did, we went there, we observed how they work, came up with an improved design, simplified design, and this, by the way, will now be implemented by the partner also. To summarize, the design services that we offer are services to advise about the strategy, also about the value of user experience, because very often our customers need to prove the value and they have a business case. About the UI technologies, we provide realization services to implement standard solutions like Fiori, like screen personas, adapt solutions, or optimize existing solutions. We empower customers by training about UI technologies, training about design thinking, design methods, or help and give advice how to set up a user experience center of excellence within the customer IT organization. Last but not least, services in the area of innovation. We help to discover areas for innovation. We then design the innovative solution with our design experts. And if a customer is interested, we can also develop customer-specific solutions. Why SAP? That's probably the question. Why should you know? Why is SAP the right partner for you? Because we invest in people. We just built a new team called Design and Co-Innovation Center that provides design services to customers. And we do this, not just this team, we do this together with the SAP field organizations, with active global support, consulting organization, and custom development. And we have about more than 50, we hired this year, beginning of this year, more than 50 additional highly skilled people from all over the world, really highly skilled design experts, people having really experience with the latest and greatest design stuff. And we support now really customers in the various projects. SAP also invests in the work environment. Why that? Because we experience that a creative work environment really enables design innovation. And we, for example, built these so-called app houses. These are very creative environments where our development teams, product managers, designers are all together in one place, co-located, and in a very creative way design new applications. And we are going to now have the next evolution of these app houses, where we build some of our apps. We are going to build an app house now in Heidelberg, where we invite customers into these app houses and have really a customer app house to do jointly co-innovate with customers and do design activities together with customers. To summarize, what are recommendations for our customers? First, understand the user experience strategy. Then define and execute your customer strategy. First, you have to identify your user experience pain points and the areas where you can have really high business value. Investigate then which new or renewed applications are available. And here you will find some links to the Business Suite Roadmap, to the Solution Browser or SAP Improvement Finder to get more information about that. Evaluate enabling tools like SAP Screen Personas. Use the SAP UX Explorer to gain more details about UX topics that are relevant for you. And join our discussions at experience.sap.com. You can also leverage SAP's design services if you go to experience.sap.com/design services. All of that you find on experience.sap.com. And if you have any questions, you can also send us an email using designservices@sap.com. Thank you very much for your attention.